What's up, guys? Oh my god, literally I thought this weekend was gonna be so slow and I'd finally be able to watch Bridgerton, but nope. Trisha Paytas finally broke her silence and exposed her true feelings about Jeffree Star.
I do not support Jeffree Star. I think he is awful.
It's a mess, so let's get into it.
Exposed. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Exposed. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Expose you. Oh my god, expose you.
If you guys watch my channel frequently, you've probably heard me bring up the famous Vegas trip that pretty much destroyed Trisha Paytas' and Jeffree Star's friendship. Trisha Paytas went away with Jeffree Star nearly a year ago now to Vegas. They took a private jet, Trisha vlogged it, and it was supposed to be like a fun little Valentine's Day getaway with friends.
So this is kind of fun because this is like his trip. He invited me on and I'm so like honored and I'm so excited. I'm like, I gotta get him like a gift when I'm in Vegas. I gotta figure out something to like thank him because it's like so freaking nice. And but I'm really excited. But I guess I just never really travel that much with friends, so I'm really stoked. This is like my first like friend trip and it's Valentine's Day, so it's like really extra special. And we're going with Maddie and Boom and Jay, who I know, so it's gonna be fun.
Oh, that didn't age well. You can just see how excited Trisha was for this trip. She mentioned that she never does trips with friends, but she felt comfortable with Jeffree. Big mistake. To the public, it looked like the trip went well, but little did we know it ended up being a complete nightmare. A few months after the trip, one of Jeffree Star's now ex-friends, named Tab, came out and exposed how Jeffree acted on the trip. According to Tab, Jeffree and his team were being really mean to one of their friends behind their back. He said this friend left the trip early, and when she did, all they did was talk about this person's weight, skin, hair, and past use. Tab felt bad about what was going on behind his friend's back, so he decided to tell them. In his video, he shows a screenshot of this person thanking him for letting them know what happened when they left. After this video was posted, everyone thought it was Trisha. It was just way too obvious. Despite everyone knowing that it was Trisha, she denied it over and over again. Trisha later ended up admitting that it was in fact her, and Jeffree reached out to her to apologize. Trisha explained how bad it hurt her that her friends were acting like that behind her back, so she just went home and cried. She wasn't ready to accept Jeffree's apology because she was just too hurt over what happened. Trisha slowly started opening up more and more about the situation as time went on. Trisha ended up saying on her podcast that she reached out to Shane after the trip to talk to him about everything that happened, and they talked for hours on end in tears. When I heard that, I thought, yeah, that would be the end of Shane and Jeffree's relationship for good. Trisha has been good friends with Shane for years. She supported him even when the whole world hated him. She supported him through his biggest scandal ever, and there's no way Shane would stand for one of his friends talking badly about Trisha, right? Yet here we are nearly a year later. Shane and Jeffree are still the best of friends. Rylan talks about Jeffree like he's infatuated and starstruck by him, and nothing's changed. Over these last few months, Trisha has been slowly speaking out about Jeffree, but you can just tell whenever his name is brought up, she gets really nervous to be speaking about him.
You know, I wasn't super supportive of Jeffree during all this, and I did come out and say, you know, my piece because so many people are like talking about this Vegas trip and this video this guy did, and I honestly shouldn't have even addressed it. I was just so tired of people like, you're scared of Jeffree, and I was like, I'm not scared of Jeffree. I just thought it was so petty. I still think it's really petty.
There was even an episode of Frenemies where Ethan brought up Jeffree, and she was trying so hard to change the subject.
No, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying this would be slander.
But someone can take that clip and then put it
but in the whole context,
let's not do it.
If I said Jeffree Star has and I have proof of it, that's slander.
No.
But I don't have proof. And for all I know, he doesn't have.
So clearly Trisha has been bottling up her feelings about Jeffree for a really long time now, and it was only a matter of time before she spilled all of the tea. And that's exactly what happened last night. Trisha posted a video titled "Why I'm Scared of Jeffree and HairbyJay." In this video, Trisha is reacting to a live stream of HairbyJay going off at Trisha in just the most disgusting way I've ever heard a man speak about a girl before. Jay was mad because Trisha did a live stream a few days ago or something about her experience with HairbyJay not being the best in the customer service department, but she didn't even mention his name. Who cares though, right? Like, what does this guy have to do with Trisha and Jeffree's drama? Well, here's where the tea comes in. Jay did Trisha's wig on the famous Vegas trip, and there was some kind of dispute or miscommunication over the payment. Jeffree was supposed to pay for Trisha's wig, but because she left early, she paid. Trisha says that she was overcharged by him for the wig, but she paid it anyways. Honestly though, that's irrelevant because the way this guy was talking about Trisha in his live stream was so horrible, it actually made me feel sick to my stomach. Trisha was crying in her video, and you could tell that this wasn't trolling Trish. This was a girl that was genuinely scared. Trisha said the fact that Jeffree even supports a person like this, or that people even support Jeffree, is disgusting. Then Trisha starts talking a little bit about what happened on the trip. She said Jeffree and his crew were talking about her at the club while she wasn't even there. She confirmed that they did make fun of her weight and appearance and the fact that she rents her house and doesn't own it. While they were out and walking together, the whole crew walked faster than her, so she couldn't catch up to them and just did so much mean girl high school stuff to her. Trisha talks about how gross it is that people like Rylan are constantly posting about how great Jeffree is when he's an actual monster. She says Jeffree and his whole crew are a bunch of mean girls and that she was just afraid to go against Jeffree because, as we know, everyone who goes against Jeffree has a history of getting cancelled themselves. She says she's not the type of person to tell someone not to be friends with someone else, but she vented to Shane and Rylan about this, and they knew what was going on, yet they continued to be friends with Jeffree. She knew Shane and Rylan would be getting married soon, so she was trying her best to keep the peace with Jeffree because obviously he would be at their wedding. Trish then jumped on TikTok and made at least 10 videos answering people's questions about the situation. First off, Trish clarified that she did in fact pay HairbyJay even though she was overcharged for the wig and service.
To clarify, I paid him. He showed the receipt. I paid him. My issue was that I just felt a little overcharged in the way that he was, aggressively asking me for it after I asked him. That was the issue, but he has been paid. I always pay people. That's not the issue.
She knew how much Jay normally charges for wigs and knew he was upcharging her just to be mean because she left the trip early. Once again, mean girl behavior. She goes on to show clips of Jay in all of Jeffree's video to show that this guy travels with Jeffree and is extremely close to him. You know the saying, birds of a feather flock together? If this is the type of person that Jeffree is super close with, what does that say about Jeffree? Trisha claims that she's been scared to say anything for the longest time and was truly trying to keep the peace for the sake of Shane and Rylan. According to Trisha, there's even video proof of Jeffree and his crew saying these horrible things about her on the trip, and it backs up everything that Tab said in his video. Someone ended up asking her if her best friend Shane was going to be sticking up for her, and you could instantly see how upset that question alone made her. She said the constant promotion of Jeffree and how awful and evil he really is makes her sick to her stomach. Someone brought up the fact that H3 are actually Trisha's true friends, not Shane or Ryland, and Trisha agreed with this statement. The scariest thing about all of this is that Jay actually doxed Trisha's private business information according to her. To end things off, she makes it super clear that she doesn't support Jeffree Star anymore, even though she truly wanted to see the best in him for the sake of Shane.
And I'm just publicly stating once for all, and I will be done with it, I do not support Jeffree Star. I think he is awful. Like, he just triggers people. Like, he triggered me in so many ways. And, yeah, there was some good stuff. And I wanted to believe in the best. Shane was friends with him. Shane vouched for him. I was like, and we had some good moments, and it just, showed his true colors, and I just try to keep my space. And, I was scared of him. I was scared of the backlash. I was scared of him. I was scared of being canceled. I was scared of what is happening now.
After Trisha got everything out, of course, Jeffree's social media was blowing up with people demanding some kind of explanation from Jeffree. Surprisingly, he actually ended up addressing her, and honestly, he just dismissed the whole thing. He said, "I have personally apologized to Trisha Paytas several times last year about Vegas, and she never responded, which is her right. I respected it, and what happened is between us. Don't drag me into new drama. Not interested. What someone else does not represent me." Someone replied to Jeffree and said, "Imagine if we didn't have social media and no one would know what others did or thought." Exactly. I've always said my piece to her, and if she ever wants to call or text me back, she will. What Jay said on live was disgusting and does not reflect how I've ever felt. I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm screaming it. Another person responded and asked Jeffree why he would even have someone like that working for him. And he said, "I've been in Wyoming and I had no idea what was going on. Just catching up now and I'm horrified by what he said. Let's not pretend that I had any part in that. I just landed back in LA and there's fires happening. It's 89 degrees outside and windy. And somehow I'm being dragged into someone else's mess. Turn the plane back around, bye." Trisha ended up seeing Jeffree's tweets and decided to quote tweet him and said, "If you didn't want to be involved in the drama, why is he speaking your name in the video on your behalf, confirming all the horrid shit you guys said about me? I've been cool, but he's speaking on your behalf multiple times in all his feeds." Jeffree replied back to Trisha and said, "You've ignored all my messages and texts for months, yet you want to have an internet circus with an audience? No thank you, love you girl, you can call me or text me anytime." So now that you're caught up on what went down, let's talk. I feel like this blow up from Trisha has been just waiting to happen for nearly a year now. She's held on to this for so long now for the sake of her friendship with Shane, and this HairbyJay guy was just the thing that pushed her over the edge. Everything about the situation is horrible. What Jay said was inexcusable, Jeffree talking behind her back is expected but still horrible. But there's one thing that really bothered me about this whole situation: Shane Dawson. Trisha has stuck by Shane Dawson through everything on the internet. Just this past summer when he got exposed and was cancelled even in the mainstream media, Trisha still stuck by him. I read the comments on my videos and I can tell you during that time Trisha got so much hate for just sticking by him. She's gone to bat for him over and over again, and yet Shane is still supporting people like Jeffree that have spoken so badly about his so-called best friend. There's a lot of things to criticize Trisha for, but the one thing I will say, she is a loyal friend, but unfortunately the people she's giving her loyalty to aren't true friends. Anyways guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button because it really does help my channel, and I'll see you next time.